Hello and welcome to Method Integration User Tutorials. My name is Errol, and in this video series, we take a look at Field Services. Field Services is an app designed for customers in the field services industry. It gives QuickBooks users the ability to schedule one-time or recurring services or work orders. You can print these work orders and route lists, enter job cost information, and turn work orders into QuickBooks invoices. As you can see, work orders are pretty important to field services, so let's create one. Now, where to find it? Here I am in Method, and at the top we have our normal tab groups. When I hover, I see the Field Services tab group available to me. But what if it doesn't show up? It's because you need to install the Method Field Services app first. And you should find this under the Customize tab and then in the My Account tab link. If you scroll down, you will eventually find the Method Field Services app. And if you don't know how to add apps, we do have a video on apps and the app library, and it will walk you through that whole thing. Remember, only the Method administrator can install apps. But wait, what if you can't find the app? You may be using Method for QuickBooks Online. And if you are, the app has a different name. It's called Method Scheduling and Invoicing for QuickBooks Online. And once installed, the tab group is also named differently. It's called Scheduling and Invoicing. So no worries, QuickBooks Online people. They are pretty much the same app. Once you've installed the Method Field Services app, you will find it in the tab group at the top, Field Service Operations. There are a number of ways to create a work order, but the first way I'm going to show you is through the calendar. Over here is my calendar tab link, and when I click it, I see my calendar. See, we weren't tricking you or anything. It shows your calendar. With the magic of the mouse, I'm going to click and drag to highlight an hour on this calendar. When I let go of the mouse, this little arrow button appears. And by clicking that funny little button, a menu pops up. And if it doesn't appear, you can just right-click to access the same menu. Yay, right mouse button. Let's click New. And this adds a brand new work order. Because I created it from the calendar, we have the proper start and end date times. Now let's say I teach piano lessons. I don't in real life, so don't ask me to teach you. Anyway, let's say Bob Crenshaw wants an intro lesson tonight. I'll put him in as the customer. Job name, I'll put piano lesson. It's assigned to me for now. Okay, down here we have job items. It's not necessary, but I want to bill the client, so I will add one. And the items you can choose are taken from your QuickBooks file. So if it's not there, it won't show up here. For now, I'll book him for 1 hour of piano time. Now let's save and close that. And huzzah, it's in our calendar. Awesome. Now if you're opposed to seeing calendars because of some weird phobia, you can also create a work order from the work order list. The work order list shows all your work orders in list form. I will go into details of this tab link in a future video, but for now, you can see there's a button called New Work Order. If I click that, you can see it's the exact same as I did through the calendar, but there's the extra step of putting in the time manually. Let me just cancel that. Another way to make a work order is through an estimate. And you might say, wait, I don't know how to make an estimate. And I got you covered because there's another video of that. Anyway, if I were to click the Estimates tab link, it looks exactly like you would expect the estimate page to look. And if I scroll down, look, you can create a work order based on the estimate itself. Nice. And finally, the last way to make a work order is through the Customer tab link. Let's go to the Customers, and I'll bring up our faithful client, Bob Crenshaw. And I'll select him. And look, we get the customer Bob Crenshaw. This is a bit different from the normal look of customers, and if you aren't too sure what that looks like, I have a whole playlist on customers. What's new is this last section called Activities and Work Orders. If I click that, I can see work orders for Bob Crenshaw. And you can create a new work order at the bottom where it says New Work Order. Exciting! And that's it for this video. If you have any questions, by all means leave them in the YouTube comments, or you can tweet us at Method CRM. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.